smile. Maybe, oh maybe, we'll stop for a little while. Maybe, oh maybe, we'll watch the sun go down. And maybe, oh maybe, we'll decide to stick around. And maybe we won't, and decide to take a walk. And you and I will ponder as we wander, as we walk.
Welcome to Ponder While We Wander. We're two friends who happen to be therapists go on a walk as we discuss relationships, nature, and meet life in the moment. Each episode is grounded in some aspect of eco-psychology, but can take us anywhere as we ponder while we wander. And you're invited to come along.
And you and I will ponder as we wander, as we walk.
Hi, Natasha.
Hi, Amber. I feel like we've done this before.
I feel like maybe we have. Technology. It's tricky sometimes.
Talk today about my right eye keeps twitching. But before I do that, do you want to tell us a little bit about where we are?
Yeah. Right now, we are walking on Sklallam, Cayuse, Umatilla, and Walla Walla lands, which are now called Discovery Bay, Washington. And do you want to tell our listeners what we're walking on specifically right now?
We are walking on some wooden planks coming up to a floating bridge here that is going to go over a lagoon in the marsh area. And it is the site where I have taken an epic fall.
Epic fall.
Some winter ago when it was really cold and really mossy. And yeah, it was spectacular. Amber, you were behind me. You would have seen the fall.
It really was spectacular.
Yeah.
We were first step on the bridge. I was really excited to show this to you. I'm like, let's go check it out. And you're like, okay. I was like, go ahead. And your first step on the bridge, flat as a board.
Flat on my stomach.
On your stomach.
Yeah, not in the water.
Not in the water. Not an injury
Not
to
an
be
injury.
found.
Not an injury.
Amazing. That's what
And
made
here
it
we
so
are today
epic.
in much different conditions where we're walking on some bird poop that is...
Yeah, we can tell that the eagles and cranes are eating well.
Yeah,
You might
that
hear
one's soft.
some of the crunching as we go over that.
Some
And
crunchy.
there's also quite the algae brew, you could say, down here.
Yeah.
It's very fragrant in its own special kind of way.
Yep. And as we get back on some terra firma here. On the other side.
Yeah. And now we've crossed the marsh and we're on this wide open path that used to be train tracks. There used to be a train that ran through here, and that's long gone. But now there's a nice wide walking path and lots of birds and wildlife that's very active and alive.
We've been hearing some swallows and
Lots of swallows, starlings, some ducks. We saw some ducks.
saw some ducks. The other day, we saw a bald eagle.
My fave, the bald eagle.
And a cedar waxwing.
Some chickadees were here.
Chickadees. Yeah. Well, we've got some wild roses that you've pointed out too.
Yeah, I love the smell of wild roses. So
we're talking a little bit about our noticing. We're using our senses to notice the things we see and smell and hear around us, and feeling the ground beneath our feet, tasting some bugs, but hopefully not a lot as we're talking.
I don't have the strong bug spray. I have bug spray light.
We are talking about somatic noticing, which is the noticing of and in our bodies. And we're going to use it as maybe an entry point to talk about our relationship with both ourselves and with nature. So you came up with this title. Would you like to tell us a little more about that?
Sure. I feel like this title found me, that my right eye keeps twitching. And it's been really going at it for a few weeks now. So was very front of eye, you could say. But as I kind of sat with that and noticed that it wasn't leaving, I decided I kind of had some different options of how to be present with that. Because I don't know if anyone has experienced their eye twitching, but it can be quite uncomfortable. So, yeah, that's where the title kind of originated, and it really got me and us sort of thinking about how we cultivate that relationship within ourselves, and what do we do in discomfort. And when I say discomfort in this sense,
The little mousey.
oh, that is a mouse. When I say discomfort in this sense, I am really talking about sort of these physical sensations that we might have, and how do we sit with those, and how do we notice those, and what's it like to do that?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of times that this comes up for many of us, whether we are paying attention to our bodies in an unbalanced way. Maybe we're not paying attention to it until it really gives us those really loud signals that something's going on. Or maybe we're paying attention too much. Sometimes when we have a chronic pain, we just can't turn that signal off. It can be really difficult to live our lives when that signal just keeps coming at us. And so we're going to talk a little bit about maybe balancing that, or maybe even not balancing, but just accepting and not over-identifying with our pains, our physical sensations, but also allowing it to give us some information.
Yeah,
About ourselves, about the world around us,
exactly.
all of that.
And I think for me, one way that I sort of begin to even enter in to that is by using my awareness intentionally, but not just noticing that my eye is twitching, but noticing in a way that there's sort of some neutral language around it, some observing language. Something of the effect of like, oh, interesting, my right eye keeps twitching. Ooh, that's really uncomfortable. I'm not sure I like that. Oh, there it goes again. This bit of, just neutrality with it, not over-identifying with that sensation. And it starts to help give me a little bit of distance from the discomfort and the ability to sort of just kind of go with that sensation, notice it, and not over-identify with it, I guess.
I noticed that you still named the discomfort, that you're not denying that the discomfort is there. It's a noticing, but I like that phrase of like, with feelings, they're like kids. You can't let them drive the car, but you also can't put them in the trunk.
It's frowned upon.
It's frowned upon, right? So being able to find that balance point between some of that stuff. And,
especially.
Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt, but especially when, there's not always something that we can do in the moment to make something stop or go away. Like, it's just present with us sometimes. And just drop the kids off on the side of the road. We gotta get them safely to their destination. So I think it can be helpful in those times.
Yeah. Yeah, I also find with the aging process, there's more and more things that kind of pop up, and we haven't really noticed that before. Or if you've ever had an injury or have some kind of medical condition, at some point we are all, we're all pre-handicapped at some point. We're all pre-disabled at some point. If we live long enough, we're going to have some point where we're not going to be able to do the things that we had before. And think can be some humility in that as well. If we keep thinking that, we should, that goes the shoulds, right? We should be able to always do everything ourselves, or, if our bodies are not doing the things that we are accustomed to them doing, that we somehow think that that's a failure of ours. And I wonder if there is a chance to bring some humility and acceptance, like radical acceptance to those experiences. And
radical acceptance to that. And I always enter those places with some curiosity and some compassion. And it's hard to do that. It's really hard to do that. And it can take practice to find some comfort and ease with that. So I feel like a lot of times when I, talk to people about noticing distress or discomfort, or, moving into these places of radical acceptance that you're talking about, I sometimes like to think of it as, this noticing doesn't have to be like, okay, now this is the thing that we're doing, and we clamp down really tightly on it, and we're like, okay, I'm noticing the discomfort. I like to hold it a little bit lighter, more lightly than that. Like, it's like a butterfly. It's kind of floating around, and it lands over here, and we're like, oh, what's that over there? And then it flies over here, and it's like, oh, now it's on that flower over there, and oh, whoa, where's it going over there? Like this kind of gentle noticing, short, brief, light.
It's beautiful, because I also think that opens us up to have more of a reciprocal relationship with ourselves, our body, what's going on, that we're gathering information, but then we can also send information back to ourselves if we're having that kind of desire to control what our experience is. That can be really disappointing.
Yeah.
The way we think things should be. And I think that the entryway of having that reciprocal relationship, there's some ease that comes with that, of being able to listen and receive, but also give some information back, give some comfort, give some nourishment, or just give some awareness to a situation. And I know for some people, you might be saying, what are these people talking about? And that's okay. If we lost you, hopefully you can listen to the waves, and there may be a frog that comes up every once in a while here. So yeah, just tune in for that. What makes me think of this also is we've come to this place where we're sitting here. We found some chairs strategically placed here. I wonder who brought them here. And we're sitting here by the water. And it reminds me of a practice called a sit spot. And you and I have practiced this in a forest bathing experience, where we had a guided forest bathing experience where, not to disappoint your husband when he thought we were going out to a forest to take a bath, which would have been nice as well.
Yeah, that also sounds nice.
Yeah, sounds nice. The forest bathing is an experience where it can be guided, or it can be, done individually, where you go out and walk in an area, a nature area, preferably a forest, hence the name, and tune into your senses and taking a deliberate, intentional walk through the forest. A lot of times it's 3 to 6 hours is a good time to spend out there in nature to get the physical, mental, and emotional benefits of it, and multiple times a week if you can. But part of that experience can be what we call a sit spot, and this can be extrapolated, taken into your daily and weekly life, where you can find a place close to your home that has elements of nature. So it could be your backyard, it could be a park, it could be a local trail that you find, and you can locate an area that you want to sit and observe, and just start there. Just start to have an experience where you slow down and you observe and tune into all of your senses and just be. And, you know, it's kind of amazing if you do it for at least 20 minutes. You know, the wildlife around you tends to get used to you being there. And then things start to happen. And, you know, they start moving around again. You start to observe and can see all kinds of cool things that start to happen. And so being able to tune in and just be an observer and start to establish that relationship with the same spot, maybe even 2-3 times a week.
The thing that I think is really interesting about the sit spot as well is, you know, if this does become a regular practice, whatever regularity might look like for you or for anyone that does this, you get to see through all the seasons, how the environment changes, what little critters show up, what don't. You know, you really get familiar, like you were saying, and when we're close and we're observing and we're slowing down and we're gaining familiarity and we're, you know, being present with ourselves and our environment. You know, that's how we cultivate relationships too. And we were speaking to that, but, you know,
Speak a little bit more about that.
about cultivating relationships. Yeah, I mean, my most cherished and impactful relationships, you know, there is this give and take. There's sharing, there's hearing, there's holding space, there's receiving. There's so many elements that kind of go into a relationship that feels fulfilling and reciprocal. And I feel like the sit spot, well, let me back up for just 1 second. I feel like when we were talking about how do we begin noticing our own somatic experiences and awareness and sensations, you know, that's where we begin to kind of cultivate that relationship within ourselves. When we slow down, we notice, get curious, right? And then we get to extend that to nature when we slow down and we get curious and we spend time in the same place over and over. And it really starts to cultivate that reciprocity. So it's not just taking something, or I'm going to go, you know, get some relief out in nature, even though I think a lot of us experience different levels of relief when we're outside. There's this deeper relational element at play. And when we can be in relationship with something, we can really learn to value it and appreciate it and notice our own impact.
I think when I ask people a question like, when do you feel most connected to something bigger than yourself? A lot of times it is a place or a type of location, whether it be it's the ocean or it's a forest, or it might be a specific place that they feel most connected to something bigger than themselves. And I think when we practice something like a sit spot, where we have the opportunity to slow down, it's like when you start paying attention to one thing, it's all so interconnected that you start paying attention to other things. And it just is a really deep, it can be a very deep experience. And the practice has been known to reduce stress, to increase attention and focus, to increase, of course, our connection with nature, and also increase our awareness of the world around us in real life. There's this mental and emotional benefit that we get from it also, but also this thing about pendulation. We talk about moving from kind of our inside experience to outside experiences. Even people that I find have a lot of anxiety or even depression in their lives, just the part where we get outside, even if it's on your front porch, and look out at the sky, like look past where, you know, the walls of your home or office or a school room is, and be able to look as far as you can out. That shift of perspective of seeing things really shifts our own inner perspective as well. That pendulating from moving inside to outside. And I think in relationships as well, a good balanced relationship. I mean, when I've had experiences with the people that I love and feel most nurtured by, there's a balance of me being interested and connected and wanting to be there for them, and for them to be there in ways that make me feel nourished and good and interesting. I like feeling interesting to other people. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I agree. Beautiful summary. And I love the way that you're talking about it right now. It's also, just reminding me about this part when we started around talking about discomfort, and even in sit spot and even in relationship, right? Like discomfort is often a part of that, and that's essential, necessary, unavoidable. And there's ways that we move through that and we incorporate that as well.
And because I'm also practicing saying the thing that I need to say, I think one of the things that I get a little concerned about when I talk about having an experience in relationship with nature is that people sometimes will misinterpret that to mean go for a walk outside and get your exercise in outside. And in other words, like use nature to get what you need from it. And that is the opposite of what I'm asking. I'm asking for people to slow down and also be able to give back. And I love the ritual of greeting an area like we did when we came in earlier, but also saying goodbye to an area when you leave. I remember being a Girl Scout, and we would say, like, always leave the place cleaner than you came into it. And I thought that was a beautiful way to kind of, give back and to say thank you to an area. Or even just like a little silent nod to an area as you appreciate and you leave it. Because I think we do, we do share the space with these creatures who know we're here and we know they're there, including the trees, including the water, including yesterday that little seal that was out in the bay cruising around.
He was definitely noticing us as we were noticing it.
Yeah. So as we're coming to our time today, Amber, what might be a ponder point that you'd like to leave with us?
Ponder point for this episode, I think, is, how is my relationship with discomfort? How do I get curious about that? How's my relationship with discomfort? And what helps me stay curious about my whole self? What about for you, Natasha?
I loved the question of what might a reciprocal relationship look like with my mind, my body, and my spirit. How might that show up? And then also with myself and nature. As we're sitting here talking, if you guys can hear, there might be a few frogs starting to come out.
Oh, there was one.
A frog? Yeah.
It's
All
that really
kinds
guy.
of birds. All kinds of water.
Yeah. The mosquitoes are also gracing us with their presence.
They are. They are. Not that really big-ass mosquito that comes by, though. Like, I haven't seen him yet. Yeah.
Oh, and look, there's an eagle up there. So we're high up there.
Yeah, I see him.
To your right, you see him?
He did. He came by.
Oh.
And all the little... Look at those guys.
I love that. The eagles for me are a place where I practice sometimes this pendulation of moving from the inside to the outside. There's something about them that just captures and captivates me, and I like to sort of follow that sensation to the outside.
He's coming right by us. It's like, you can leave now. I need to go eat. Okay.
Oh, so beautiful.
On that note,
Okay.
come back for our next episode where we are calling it A Cup of Coffee Can Heal Me, where we'll be on Whidbey Island, and come ponder with us about the ritual and magic of slowing down and connecting over a warm beverage. But until then, wander well.